So guys, I'm here. Kyle, unfortunately, he had a little bit of a mishap. See, he ate fried Oreos, right, with his dinner, and then we had to walk up this giant hill, and just out of the middle of nowhere, he just.
Kyle, there was a gremlin and just ran through the kitchen.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right, how about you?
Doing great. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks, but we are back
That's been a
sitting
while.
on a couch talking some sports. But we've been sort of out and about, painting the town red, as the old saying goes. But yeah, just haven't really had the time to sit down and film an episode recently. But we're back, folks. Not back in black, but we're just back.
Back.
Not or not back in the New York groove. We're just back.
In the saddle?
We're not back in the saddle again. We're just, we're not going back in time.
Oh, I'd love to go back in time.
I'm just dropping song references. It's
Good,
sad commentary
I like
on
it.
my life right now.
Roll with it.
Roll with the changes. See, there's no one. So, anyway, like I say, we're just very excited to be back with another episode, and very excited once again to be sponsored. Great segue by Simon Organizing and Wes Woodson. Love them both to death. Great supporters of the show, and links will be in the description. Boop. Anyway, tonight's episode is gonna be a good one because excuse me, I'm gonna burp. No, tonight's episode is gonna be a good one because I'm actually gonna sort of give control of the show over to my pal Kyle over here, because what we're doing tonight is a giant episode of the Sue's Reviews, because a couple weeks ago we actually had the occasion, me, Kyle, and some other cast of characters, had the occasion to watch some of the Tom Brady roast that came out on Netflix. Lots of interesting stuff in the roast, and so we wanted to spend tonight doing a little review of the roast. So, without any further ado, because I really can't think of anything else to say to set this up, Kyle, why don't you take us away into this glorious land that is our Brady roast episode?
All right, so now, just to put a little context here, I haven't watched a whole lot of other roasts, especially all the way through, because these can be very long.
Yes.
And the Tom Brady one was about the length of a Lord of the Rings movie. The extended edition.
Facts. Hashtag facts.
So it's just, it's basically just one continuous long set of jokes that they do, and they poke fun of, like, for those of you who don't know what a roast is, they just kind of poke fun at the person at the center of the roast. Roast of Tom Brady. They've done a roast of Donald Trump before. So they, just... It's just been kind of a thing that's been going on in the comedy world for quite a while now. So
Yes.
Tom Brady being the most recent one, and it was very fascinating because it was, just to put a little more context too. We actually, when we were watching the roast of Tom Brady, we kind of switched back and forth between like that and like the Bruins game at the time.
True.
So that was
the night
pretty...
where the Bruins got eliminated.
Yeah, so little unfortunate on the Bruins end of things, but the roast of Tom Brady was kind of a wild ride. It was one of those where I will admit I didn't watch every single solitary minute of it because
Neither did I.
right.
So.
I mean, I feel like with these roasters, like I feel like you go in and you kind of like you check it out, you get a feel for it, and you really pick out which ones that you really like, and like for those of you that stay for throughout the entire thing, I gotta give you credit, man. That like props to you.
Yes. Oh god, yeah. If you sat through in one sitting, if you sat all through the whole 3 hours in one sitting, congratulations. You deserve a medal.
Yeah. Easily.
Yeah.
So it was fun just kind of watching all these different guests that in some way, shape, or form were like a mix of like comedians. They had like professional comedians. Kevin Hart was hosting the whole event, which is really cool. And then you had like great comedians. In my opinion, probably the best one of the whole night. I loved Nikki Glazer's one.
Oh my god, she was amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
Because that was like one of the ones that I saw like all the way through while we were watching. She was fantastic. She killed it. Like,
yeah, knocked it out of the freaking park. Grand
she
slam.
Was, and you could tell, like, I mean, she is a professional comedian, so I guess I shouldn't be like entirely surprised. But yeah, she just like you said, absolutely nailed it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, probably one of, if not, I would say hands down the best one of the night. So she won the night, in my opinion. So
Gronk know that not real money. Quote of the night.
Yeah, it was funny too. Actually, that's a good point too. And it wasn't even just Tom Brady that got roasted. It was a bunch of the other like Pats fans.
They would roast each other.
Patriots.
They would like roast each other. Like each time everybody would come up, they would like roast each other, and then
namely Bledsoe and Gronk would. Yeah.
Oh God, Bledsoe. Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
Oh, yeah, Bledsoe may or may not have made a couple jokes about Tom Brady's divorce. That were kind of savage.
Oh yeah. They definitely threw Giselle and his other ex. Was it Michelle?
Bridget Moynihan.
I don't know why I thought it was, Michelle Monaghan. Bridget Moynihan, thank you. Getting the actresses mixed up, I guess.
It's okay.
But yeah, no, that was wild. That was really wild.
It was a wild ride. It really was. Yeah, I mean, Bledsoe, like, one of the quotes that stood out to me, Bledsoe was like, I've accomplished two things that Tom Brady never has. I was the number one pick in the draft, and I made it to my 26th wedding anniversary.
Oh.
It's just like...
Oh. Yeah, shots fired.
Yeah. No, there were some good... Like, the other one that I really enjoyed was Julian Edelman, former wide receiver for the Patriots, had a nice dig at Bill Belichick, who was actually in the audience.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't even in the audience. He was like on stage.
Oh no, he came up and he had his own whole session and everything too.
Julian had like this line where he's like, Bill, you'd always tell us. It was like something about Bill. You always tell us that those guys at Foxborough High School can run routes better than we can. And it's like he's like, I've been waiting my whole life to say this. Well, hey there, buddy. Foxborough High's the only job offer that you have. Oh. Sorry, there's random people. There's random kids standing on a hill.
Yes,
okay, bye. Sorry, random non sequitur there. Segue. Anyway, but yeah, that Edelman thing was just like that was a pretty good line.
that was wild. What was it? Yeah, I really liked. You're right. I agree. Edelman was good. I actually really liked Bledsoe's. He just kind of came in just swinging, and I thought he actually did a really, really great job.
He did. He was like I agree.
Then the other one I liked Belichick too. His was kind of funny because not as much for the digs that he took, but it's just funny because he's so professional. And like when he goes up there, he was just saying, "Oh, thank you for having me here," and you could tell he was kind of in like the football press conference mode. And like I just thought that was a very, very funny touch because it's like he's so used to doing that. So it's like when you go to a roast, it's such a different type of energy.
It's such a different vibe. Like
yeah. So I think like you could tell Belichick was kind of like adjusting. Like he was like, all right, I'm not in a football one of those press conferences like post game kind of thing. like this is I can kind of loosen up a little bit. So you can kind of you kind of saw him like he started off a little football press conference, but then he kind of loosened up as the event, as his sort of session went on, which I thought was really good. And he definitely had his jokes. Actually, I thought got funnier and funnier as like he was going on, which is really cool. So I think he also took another big dig at Gronk at one point.
Yeah, he just like, oh yeah, with Gronk and Fox,
Right.
like his job at Fox is like, my whole thing was always do your job. Gronk, after watching you on Fox, please stop doing your job. Oh, that was kind of. I will say this though, because there were a couple of things that like were a little bit cringe, as the kids kids say these days. Like the amount of like Giselle jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have like cut back on it a little bit, especially since she wasn't like up there on stage and like all that. Like you could tell that Brady kind of like was starting to get a little bit like uncomfortable about the amount of those jokes, but also the one where you could really tell he like didn't like it was when I think it was Jeff Ross made a joke about Robert Kraft's arrest for at the massage parlor. Yeah. Brady literally got up and was like, "Never joke about that again." And he was not happy about that. And but I mean, I get it. Like it's a roast. Like when you sign up for it, you gotta be expecting, the heat. But I think there were some. I think they could have done it without a certain amount of the content. Like some of that, I think, kind of waded into too much in some respects. But overall, like I said, I thought just if I could put a bow on it, I would say that it was just a very well done, funny roast from from the parts. I didn't see all of it. I must acknowledge right off the bat, but from what I did see, it was very well done. There were some just really good lines. So
another kind of like sort of like because there were certain ones that when they went up that they like you're just like you could tell that they just weren't quite like they were they had a very awkward kind of like energy to them. I thought Gronk was super cringe at times, like
God, yeah.
Yeah, his whole session was like I was just like half the time I'm just like, but at the same time too, it's Gronk, so it's like I guess it's like not really that surprising too. So
Gronk is Gronk, and I think that's why I think what made the Nikki Glazer like quip so funny is like you see Gronk like they pan to Gronk. I know I'm giving away spoilers here. For the Tom Brady roast.
We should have tagged spoiler review.
Seriously. But like just when I mentioned earlier like the line where Nikki Glazer's like Tom, you lost like all this money on crypto. Like even Gronk's like, me know that not real money. And like you look at Gronk and he's just like he's laughing because I was like, it's true. You see him go down, I was like, it's true. I just thought that was fantastic too, because Gronk's not the brightest bulb in the bunch, but he definitely was a heck of a football player. Yeah, so he makes up for it.
He's got a good heart too. Like he seems like he's
very like very goofy.
Yes,
not Goofy the dog, but very goofy. But I thought it was well done. I thought it was a well done roast overall. So
definitely, it was good.
I don't think Tom Brady will ever be doing a roast again.
I mean, I think like I don't think they would ever repeat a roast of Tom Brady.
But he just seemed like he really like. I think he again, you never know what people are thinking, but definitely like you could definitely tell that he was not. Sometimes he was regretting making the decision to be roasted.
Yeah, very uncomfortable. Yeah, and the other warning I got to give you guys too, if you do plan to watch this, it does hit hard. Like no stone is left unturned.
That's what I'm saying. Like the whole like Giselle, like literally they dove into that situation. Like
it definitely has like a very kind of old school comedy approach in the sense that it's they throw Giselle under the bus, but they have like jokes that are very like ooh like there's cringy jokes that you're like, oh, why did they say that? But then there's also like, oh, like very painful. You're like, oh, should I laugh at this kind of joke? Like, So I do have to give you the warning, just be careful. It depends on kind of what style of humor you're in. If you like the kind of older school comedy, then yeah, this is probably right up your alley. But if you're not quite used to that style, like the hard hitting, like they go deep sometimes. Like the couple racist jokes here and there, I was like, oh, this is, I don't know if I should laugh at this. So it's just kind of like, yeah. So just to warn you guys, just fair warning.
Forewarned is forearmed, as they always say.
So, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's all I got. I know. I thought I had something else to say, but I was like, nah, that's
right.
pretty much it. So just
no. I would, if I had to go to simply like recommend, not recommend, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
You would watch it.
Definitely. Yeah.
In multiple settings, but definitely give it a look because it's worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it. But anyway, all right. Well, thank you, Kyle, for taking us down that good old Sue's Review style review of the of the Brady roast. Much appreciated. So to wrap up tonight's episode, I'm going to do a quick Robbie's final thought before we sign off for the evening.
Cool.
Because a couple of noteworthy things happened in the Boston sports world over the last like week alone. Since we've been sort of away for a while, and I want to give 3 shout outs. Shout out number 1, Boston Celtics. Second time in 3 years, NBA Finals bound after they swept the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Just so excited for the C's as they chase after that elusive banner number 18.
Nice.
They are now moving on, like I said, to the NBA Finals to take on the winner of the Dallas-Minnesota series. That series, Dallas currently leads 3-1. Game 5 is tonight as we are recording this. So still remains to be seen, but you could potentially have a Celtics versus Kyrie Irving NBA Finals, which would just be absolutely wild on so many fronts.
Very cool.
Second shout out, the BC women's lacrosse team, who captured a national championship over the weekend, defeating the defending national champion Northwestern in a thrilling game 14-13 to capture their second national title in the last 4 years. Great bookend for the seniors who actually were freshmen on the first championship team back in 2021, and then obviously to end their careers by winning a title in 2024. Just a great mark for a program that's just really become a dynasty of women's college lacrosse. 7 straight trips to the national championship game, just unheard of. So big ups to them, and next year the national championship game is actually going to be at Gillette Stadium for the women's lacrosse. So perhaps they can make it 8 in a row on their home turf. That'd be really cool. And then finally, it's something I know, it's funny, Kyle, our friend Ben and I were having this conversation about this earlier, but PWHL Boston, the women's professional hockey team of Boston, made it in their inaugural season to the finals. They faced off against Minnesota. Unfortunately, they fell in the deciding Game 5 last night at home, 3-0. But I just want to give them a big shout out because in the inaugural season of the league, especially where like sort of halfway through the season, they weren't looking like they might even make the playoffs. And then to be able to make the playoffs and then sort of go on a run, win their playoff series and make it to the finals and make it to Game 5 of the finals was a pretty cool accomplishment for their first year, and definitely gives a lot of reason for optimism going forward with this team in this league. So, and the funny thing is, they actually practice in Wellesley. Their practice rink is in Wellesley, right up the street from my house. I just thought that was kind of a funny side note there. But yeah, big congratulations to them on a terrific season. A lot to be proud of, and a lot of excitement around women's professional hockey. I mean, the game last night at the Songa Center up in Lowell was sold out for the women's finals. So just really, really good stuff going on. So big kudos to those three teams on some tremendous accomplishments. So
Very nice.
yeah, so that is going to do it for this edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As the sun begins to set on another day in this episode.
Yeah, it's getting darker. It's funny, like this, like as we're filming this, it's like 8:23 at night.
It really is, yeah.
And it's still actually fairly light, so that's why we didn't even really bother turning the lights on.
Right,
so.
I know, but it's just kind of funny how you've seen gradually the sunset sort of happen gradually as we've been filming this episode. So, and again, the sun is setting on another episode. So, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you for watching us here on YouTube. Again, you can always find us also on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. And also, please check out our sponsors, Zyman Organizing, Wes Whitson. Definitely show them support, as always. And, yeah, that will do it for another On a Couch Talking Sports. Until next time, that's Kyle. I'm Robbie, and stay roasted. Don't know what's going on in there, but anyway, so Kyle, see, he got sucked into a hole, right? See, he was so busy, like, just basking in the goodness that was the fried Oreos, that he didn't watch where he was going. He just stepped into this giant hole and just sucked him right up. It was the wildest thing ever. And so tonight, it's just going to be me on the episode. It's just going to be me tonight doing the episode. Just me, Robbie. And we're going to have a great time. Just you, me, and just nobody else. So why don't we get started by me telling you to tell me to tell you. I don't know. Just whatever we want to talk about. Just whatever we want to talk about. I'm talking about Little Red Riding Hood. What are we, like 5 years old? Like, this Little Red Riding Hood. What are we doing? Like, come on, folks. Like, see, this is the level of amateurism that has to be dealt with on a show-by-show basis, which is why I'm so glad that, I mean, I'm not happy that Kyle got sucked into a hole. Don't get me wrong. And just ignore the fact that you might have just heard his voice, because that was the ghost of Kyle. Kyle's ghost is now flying around his house, haunting his house. But like I said, that's why I'm glad that tonight is just you and me and nobody else, and we're just gonna have a grand old time doing the episode. Again, just you and me. You and me. And nobody else. Why am I stalling? Why am I stalling? Like, why am I stalling tonight's episode when I could be just chatting with you all?
Wait, what's up?
And again, just ignore any voices you may hear because it's just me and you.
Oh, hey, Robbie.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Oh, Kyle's here.
I'm here.
It's not like I just told him that you got sucked into a hole walking back because of fried Oreo, because you were basking in the goodness of fried Oreos.
Why would you say that? I would never eat fried Oreos. I totally did.
Yeah,
Look at this guy's deal.
I kind of made up a whole thing, you know. I was just telling them just a whole tale of the fact that you were walking down the street, you just weren't watching where you were going. You stepped into a hole and it just sucked you right up.
You know, the bit about the fried Oreos, though, that was the most fake part of it. by far.
Fake
No
news.
way fried
Fake
Oreos
news.
ever were involved in the story at all.
There were no fried Oreos.